I'm searching out the rarest cars in America, on the back roads, hiding in barns, untold secrets of pure muscle and steel just waiting to be discovered. Gold on wheels. Oh my gosh. My name is John Hames, and it's my journey to find you. Yeah, hello gorgeous. Look at that. I am the American Car Prospector. The American Car Prospector is on the prowl. On the prowl, and I'm up in the high country, and so far I got nothing. I'm just trying to come up with something here, and right now it's just not happening, but I know there's something here for me.
Today, the American Car Prospector finds himself in Colorado Springs. He's got a couple of small leads, but knows that most of the day will be spent prospecting cars out of thin air.
Well, Colorado Springs is still one of my favorite places to go to try to locate collector cars. There's just a right combination of the city is the right size, so there's plenty of vehicles to look at. The weather down there is extremely dry, so the cars are not rusty. And oftentimes the Colorado Springs market has brought me some of the very best cars that I've ever found. Let's see, which way do we go? Okay, truck says to go right. I was down there and I was in the high country up above town and just prowling around and nothing much going on. I found some collector cars that day that I just didn't want to make an offer on. But I was coming up this one street and I saw this vehicle that was covered up by a car cover. It's a BMW under a car cover. We're not looking for late models today. Probably a really cool car, but not what I'm looking for. We've been finding a lot of muscle cars lately. What's that? Another late model. I don't need that. What's that? Okay, there's something down there. I thought it might be a Porsche 356 just from the shape of it. You know, they have that bathtub shape to them. And then when I walked up on it, I could see the exhaust pipe sticking out, and I thought that's got to be a 356. Well, just then I looked up and this lady was standing there with the garden hose in her hand, and she wasn't that excited about me being there.
Can I help you?
Hi.
Hi.
I just saw the car under the tarp.
Yeah.
Have you guys thought about selling that car ever?
Well, depends if you're asking me or asking my husband.
Is that your husband's car?
Yeah.
Yeah, is he home?
Yeah, he is actually. Go and get him?
Yeah, my name's John. Would you mind?
Okay, no, I'll do that.
Thank you. Well, when I first walked up to this 356 under the tarp, you could see that bathtub shape, and I knew it had to be a 356. I wasn't sure, but I mean, I was pretty sure. And I looked up and there was his wife, and she was watering the garden, and she asked me what I was doing, and I said, well, I was kind of interested in maybe whether this car would be for sale. And right away her eyes popped open, and she said, well, I'll get my husband. Well, Porsche owners can be a little eccentric. Let's see what this guy's like. Oh, he's coming to the door. Hey, I'm John.
John, hi. Jeff.
Hey, I was just driving by and I noticed that it looked like he had maybe an old Porsche under that tarp. I wasn't quite sure.
Could be.
Could be. You know, I don't know if you've ever thought about selling it, but I'd really like to see it. Well, the guy comes to the door. Jeff is his name. It turns out that Jeff is a musician in the Colorado Springs area. He has a band called Contrary Western, and they play a lot of festivals, and A lot of times too, Jeff plays at the piano bar there at the Broadmoor, and he'll sit there and have a glass of wine and just play the piano, and people, you know, in the bar there really enjoy that. Look at how cool that is with those exhaust pipes just sticking out.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Peel it off.
Oh, this is a twin grill.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so now that makes it a B?
Yeah, it's a 356B T6.
It's a T6.
Yeah.
We know that because it has the twin grills, right?
Correct.
Okay.
The T5, which was from 1960 to 62, had only one grill.
Just
and
a center grill.
Exactly. And then they started doing the twin grill arrangement in the early 60s. They also put in a larger windshield, because the original Porsches had a really small rear windshield. And then they did some minor refinements, like putting the gas filler outside the hood.
Right, because on the earlier versions, you had to open the hood to put the gas in.
Right.
A lot like a Volkswagen.
Right, and then the gas station attendants would often try to close the hood manually, and then they'd bend them.
I've seen these with bent hoods.
They all have kinked hoods because of people that were not knowledgeable enough to lift the hood and then drop it.
I see. I can tell you know a lot about Porsches.
A little bit.
Yeah, no, this is really a cool piece.
Thanks.
It doesn't look like you've driven it lately. It's in awfully great condition.
Oh, actually, I drive this just about every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. You keep it under cover.
Yeah, just to keep the bird dew off.
Certainly not a show car, but a really complete, solid car.
Pretty much.
What was the history of this car?
Well, what happened was there was a banker that ended up with it, probably a repo. And I was just kind of scouting and got it really cheap and then rebuilt it.
So you've been through the mechanicals and...
Totally.
Really?
Yeah, you should check this thing out.
I'd like to. This is a great moment for a car guy when you get to find a really cool old Porsche like this that's, you know, in the hands of an owner who obviously knows a lot about it. And,
Well, it's a pretty basic 75 horse, 1600 motor. And this is an S. So it's a little bit more, high lift camshaft, and then it's got dual Weber 40s on it, which are the, carburetors for racing. The original Solexes were a simpler deal, and they didn't suck quite as much air and fuel. But I drive this thing all the time,
Yeah, you
rain or shine.
you clearly know a lot about these cars. I want that car. Right now I want it. Not tomorrow, not next week. I want that car right now. I want that car. That car is mine.
When we come back on the American Car Prospector, John runs this Porsche through its paces.
I thought, great, we'll go for a ride. This will be fun. Well, then to my amazement, he threw me the keys and he let me drive it. So we can take it for a drive?
Hell yeah, you drive it. Yeah, these cars like an open throttle.
I love it.
The American Car Prospector is in Colorado Springs, and he found a complete one-of-a-kind 356 Porsche.
What's that? Okay, there's something down there.
The owner, Jeff, is a musician in town and hasn't given any indications that he would sell the car.
I want that car.
But John and Jeff are firing it up and taking it out for a spin. Let's see what happens.
I like it. I like it a lot.
The thing that's awesome about this is they'll just sit here and glub
All day.
500 RPMs.
That's about 500, huh?
Yeah. And it's start. It'll blow smoke.
It's kind of cold at the moment, huh?
Not too cold to cruise. Let's do it.
Seriously, we can take it for a drive?
Hell yeah, you're driving.
Whoa, dude.
Well, how do you like that? Jeff's entrusting John with the car and doesn't even really know him. I hope Jeff knows what he's doing. Then again, I hope John knows what he's doing and knows how to handle this car.
I thought, great, we'll go for a ride. This will be fun. Well, then to my amazement, he threw me the keys and he let me drive it.
Twist it and push it all the way to the floor.
And then is it?
It's down in the floor and then forward. I think you got
I think I got it. Nice.
Look out, ladies. Here he comes.
And you know, I gotta tell you, I had a spirited drive up the canyon in that car. I love it. I love everything about this Porsche. It is so much fun to be me. I can't believe that I get to drive this. It's good to be me.
Yeah, this is your lucky day.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Yeah, it's probably the slowest car that you'll ever drive fast.
Okay.
Let's let it rip. Yeah, and you know, with any low horsepower car, you don't be afraid to rev it up to 4,000 RPMs.
Okay. I've driven 356s many times, but not in recent years. You know, I just don't run into them very often, you know?
Well, and there are not that many of them that run like this one.
I'll take your word for it.
Basically, you've gone through the suspension, it's all lowered. It's got conies all the way around that are on the almost the stiffest position.
Okay.
So you'll find the ride is really stiff, and it really is a very agile machine. Take it up to 4,000. Yeah, these cars like an open throttle.
I love it. Boy, I feel like I'm at the Targa Euphoria, you know?
Pretty much you are.
It's good to be me.
Okay, hang a left.
Okay.
No, I mean straight, just left
Oh,
fork.
gotcha. Left at the fork?
Yep. And then don't hesitate to take it all the way up to 4,000. That's the way these things are designed. There you go.
Just let her run, huh?
Yep.
Oh, you gotta love it. You know, it just feels really tight. It's a real driver.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta tell you, with the gloves on, I feel like a real race car driver.
You are.
Well, it's like a cowboy who's gone bad and he's become a race car driver in another life, you know?
Yep. Okay, now you're going to want to hang a left. It's a tight one. Watch out for this knucklehead. And you'll have to watch the road up here on the right has some pretty nasty little potholes.
You've been up this once or twice, huh?
I drive it almost every day
Really?
at speed.
You gotta love it.
The cops don't really like it, and the neighbors don't care.
More on this rare Porsche when we come back on the American Car Prospector. The American Car Prospector has got his hands on a rare 356 Porsche, and the owner is letting him take it for a spin. Hopefully, John will get a deal going on this rare beauty.
It's got a lot of power.
Now you're talking.
I love it. I can't believe you want to sell this thing.
I don't.
I already decided that car is mine. Now I just got to get the owner of the car to agree with me. In order to preserve domestic tranquility?
Pretty much.
I gotcha. Well, I've really enjoyed getting to know this car and getting to know you. This is a lot of fun for me.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
maybe before we take it back, why don't you take it for a spin for a second?
okay.
Let's just swap at this stop sign real quick. I'd kind of like to see an old hand, you know, the way that you drive it. Let's try that.
Copy that.
You know, there's some days when it's like everything I do is just touched with good luck and good timing and everybody's happy and it's all just going great. And those are the days when I can acquire some inventory for my buyers. But even on a day when I can't actually locate a vehicle that I have a buyer for, I still get to meet some awesome people. Car collectors, car restorers and racers are the best people ever. And it's always a good day to be me because I always meet people that I really enjoyed meeting and that really have a lot to teach me about collector cars, racing, and maybe I can exchange some information with them that will help them eventually. Show me how it's done, Jeff. I love it. It just has that German car feel to it, you know? Very high quality build, road holding, good visibility, great seating position, terrific horn. You know, they all have terrific horns, all the German cars, you know?
Yep. Your only means of defense sometimes.
Right.
Okay, good. Sissy bar.
Got the sissy bar. Nice. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I don't love the speed limit. 15. And then you always gotta watch out for deer in Cheyenne
A
Canyon.
lot of deer up here, huh?
Mountain lions and bears.
Yeah,
Oh
bears.
my.
You probably had some bears in your yard this last year.
Ton of.
This was not a show car. This 356 had hazing and scratches and spider webs in the paint. It was complete though, and it had a motor rebuild as well as the suspension and brakes and steering, and it was just really clean. A perfect car to acquire that you could use for a driver. I mean, you could go and get groceries in that car, or you could take it to an autocross, a Porsche club event, maybe even take it to the track and really stretch it out and see what a 356 can do.
When we come back on the American Car Prospector, will John get an offer going on this Porsche, or will the owner kick him off the property?
Really great car. I hope I can make a deal for it.
Stay tuned. So far, the American Car Prospector, while prospecting in Colorado Springs, has found a vintage Porsche 356, got the owner Jeff to take the car out, and even let John drive.
Just let her run, huh?
Yep.
Oh, you gotta love it. You know, it just feels really tight. It's a real driver.
Now it's time to get down to business on this car. John's going in for the kill and wants this car bad.
Well, I really wanted this 356. I always have buyers for 356s. It doesn't matter the 356, whether it's a total project car or it's a restored car or somewhere in between like a driver. Really great car. I hope I can make a deal for it. So how long have you owned it, Jeff?
About 8 years.
So you probably have some money invested in that engine rebuild, suspension parts, everything you were telling me about.
Yeah, it took about 2 years. It was on jack stands doing the suspension and reworking the motor and all that.
But that's the paint that it had when you bought it?
Yeah, I like the campy paint job.
Sure, you don't have to worry about it then.
Right. and the birds can worry about it if they want.
Right. This is a driver car. This car is not for a straight collector. This is for somebody that wants to use the vehicle and
Yeah.
probably go get groceries in it.
Yeah, there are a lot of these cars around that people just polish and they might drive them once a month or whatever. But I drive it just about every day and it's really a blast.
What, if you were to put together a sale, what kind of a number were you thinking?
Oh, I don't know. I bought it for about 25, put at least another 10 in it. So that with the heartbreak, 40?
I want this car. I want it bad. I am willing to shell out some more cash, some more hard green dollars to acquire that car. I want it. I appreciate what you're saying because it does cost a lot to restore and maintain these vehicles. I probably can't give you $40,000 for it, Jeff. Could you?
Blue Book on it's probably 50.
Blue Book is 50.
Even the lowly BT6, yeah. If it were a Pre-A or an A car, or if it were a 4-cam Porsche, you'd be over 100 grand.
Sure, I got
But if
that.
it were a Speedster, you know, the sky's the limit.
Well, I kind of have the feeling that this car might be on its way back to Europe. And for my buyers over there, I'm thinking that I'd probably be, looking more like at about in the 25,000 range.
Yeah. How about half down and the rest now?
Half down and the rest now.
Those are my easy payment terms.
Easy payment terms, I like that. I wish every car buyer had that kind of an arrangement. Half down and the rest now.
25, you're pretty much off your rocker.
Well, when Jeff and I started looking at the car initially, he was obviously very familiar with Porsches, especially this particular one, because he'd owned it for quite a while and he'd been working on it off and on for years. I thought there was no chance that he's going to sell this car. He probably will be buried in this car. When I first threw him out an offer, I thought, boy, that went nowhere. I mean, I thought he was just going to say, forget about it. Yeah, okay.
I don't know, maybe 32. Yeah, just give that thing a whiff and tell me you won't pay 32 for that bad boy.
Let's have another look at that engine.
It should be smoking pretty good by now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the smell of exhaust in the morning.
Yeah, me too.
How about 31.5?
31.5?
I'll do 31.5 on this car.
Okay,
Yeah?
let's do it.
Okay, I'm leaving with
Cash
it.
money.
Thanks, brother.
You bet.
I appreciate you, Jeff.
Hey.
Wow, we got a really great car here. Reluctant seller, super nice driver, B Porsche S. I know there's a buyer in Europe that wants this car more than he wants it, and I think, frankly, that the money's going to make him happier than the car at this point.
That's going to make my wife happier. It's not going to make me happy.
Yeah, that's not the first time that's happened. So, yeah, let's take a look at the paperwork file, and I'm going to make a quick call here, and we'll get this out of your driveway today.
Okay.
Right now.
Sounds like a deal.
Let's have a look at that paperwork file, and let me just make a quick call here. But after I worked with him a little while, and I think he could kind of start to picture the stack of $100 bills that was coming in on this, then he started to warm up. I finally was able to acquire the car. It was really fun. Hey, yeah, we found a Porsche in Colorado Springs that we need to move on today. Right, and so before the bank closes, I've got to have you up here with the truck and trailer. I'm going to drive it back down into town. We're clear up in the high country, but I'll drive it down there closer to where you are. Right. Yeah, right. We just bring the kit with the fire extinguisher and the tools and everything that we normally have. And this one runs and drives, so I don't think we're going to have any difficulty with it. It'll drive right onto the trailer. Yep. I'll meet you down there. I think it'll probably take about 2 hours. That particular car I really like because it's kind of an outlaw 356. It's not restored. It's a driver, and it doesn't have all original parts. It has parts that were better than the original parts. That's the kind of car that I think is worth owning. It's something that you can drive, have some fun with, throw the keys to your friends without having to worry about whether it comes back with a stone chip on it. I mean, come on, really? Let's just drive these cars like Jeff drove it, and like I'm confident that the new the new owner of that Porsche will do. He'll drive it.
See, when you restore a Porsche, it takes a lot of stuff to really document and everything that you did. So this has the record of the car since I got it,
Right.
plus every part that I've put into it.
Wow.
And yeah, it's pretty much a complete documentation of where I got it, everything, along with photographs of the restoration and things like that. So it's really a complete record of everything you need.
Wow.
When it comes to old cars, it's good to get something like that.
This is so cool because it gives you the serial number of the car. It gives you the engine number, the engine type, the date that Mr. Jeff purchased it, and the odometer reading. The new owner is really going to appreciate having this. You know, there's the registry membership card. Here's all of the paperwork from the state. You know, the various proceedings.
Yeah, and notice this, back when they had emissions, had to get it to pass inspection. So we detune it, get it to pass inspection, then we tune it right. Because basically these things are going to emit a little bit of emission.
Right.
It's not like a modern car.
They're just not like a modern car. That doesn't even have positive crankcase ventilation, I don't believe.
Nope.
No, yeah. Which is the first thing for anti-pollution, but that's before the day.
When we come back on the American Car Prospector,
So what do you got back here, Jeff? So we pulled it out in the driveway and we were looking at it, and all of a sudden I hear from the second story of the house, the windows flew open and this lady leaned out and started yelling, "You're not selling my car, are you?"
Jeff, what the heck are you doing?
Nothing, dear.
You're not selling my car, are you?
And I thought, oh great, there goes that deal.
That's it. I'm done. I'm done. No more cars. My turn.
Rinky dink, mother goose, no more cars.
the American Car Prospector John Hames has a great day going in Colorado Springs. While prospecting, he ran across Jeff and secured a Porsche 356 for one of his European buyers. And just found out that Jeff has got another rare car in the garage. John is dying to know what it is.
So what do you got back here, Jeff?
Well, you know, my wife's got a Porsche too, and
Well, as soon as Jeff and I finished our little transaction on the 356 and put the cover back on it, I thought we were done. But then he let me know that down in the other garage was this 912E, and I knew what a 912E was. I haven't seen very many of them, but there's a few of them out there. Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Actually, I
thinking.
like the sound of that.
you do, huh?
Well, you know, I do have buyers for Porsches.
Let's pop the garage door.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this. Oh yeah, hello gorgeous. It's even black, my favorite color for a 911, but it's a 912.
Yeah, it's a 912E.
Okay, so this was the car that they put the four-cylinder into.
That's right. It in the 70s gas crunch, they basically took a 911S, put in the Volkswagen-powered fuel-injected four-cylinder, called it a miracle, and sold it to folks out in California who didn't have gas money.
Fantastic. Hey, can
Yeah.
you pull it out?
Sure.
Let's have a better look at it. Yeah, oh, you bet. I love a black Porsche. How long you had this one, Jeff?
Had this one for about 6 years.
Looks
Yeah.
like another car that you've been taking care of.
Well, I haven't had to do anything to it because these were extremely reliable cars, and the motors. Basically, it's a VW power plant in there. These engines, the fuel-injected 4-cylinders, and they're 2-liter, and they were left over from the production of the 914. And so when the 914 Porsche was discontinued, they started putting them in the 911 body, and they called it a 912E.
So this is a 911S.
Right. Everything about it is 911, and except for the motor,
Right.
which just has a different, instead of a 6-cylinder, it's a fuel-injected 4. This is the same engine that they put in the Volkswagen 411, the Porsche 914. They also put it in buses.
In the bus, right.
Yeah. So it's called a Type 4.
Now this was a car that came from the factory with air.
Well, actually, these air conditioners were not factory; they were dealer added.
Really? So that was probably a dealer ad then.
Yeah, they added a bunch of junk back in the 70s to make compliant. One of the things is this smog pump. You can see that I've got the belt off of that.
Right, the belt's gone.
But what that used to do is it would draw in and then reburn some of the air. And all these years later, when you don't have to be compliant, I just take the belt off that so you're not driving that.
But everything's there.
Everything's there, and then
Right.
this air conditioner, of course, I don't have it hooked up because it takes R12.
Okay.
And that refrigerant is no longer used. So,
Well, in this climate, you probably wouldn't use it very often anyway.
yeah, not in Colorado.
You know? Well, it's got ANSA exhaust. And the engine, though, you haven't actually rebuilt it or done anything to it.
I haven't had to do anything to it.
Right. Well, that's interesting because that does show how reliable it is. You've owned it how many years?
6.
6 years.
Yep. The only thing I've had to do with it was just put spark plugs in it.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit of tweaking here and there.
Well, it's an amazing car. I do notice a few little rust bubbles on it.
Oh yeah.
Fairly typical.
Yeah, and it is a sunroof,
Okay.
which is a cool deal.
All right.
Yeah, that's your air conditioning, Colorado air conditioning.
Colorado air conditioning. I love it.
Yep.
And then what kind of shape is it in on the inside?
Well, it's the driver's seat is well worn,
Right.
but it doesn't look like anyone ever rode along. It does have leather interior,
Right.
and everything's stock. It has a aftermarket radio that I never listened to, because what I was saying about the content on radio these days.
Well, this one's the wife's car, right?
Yeah,
You sure you're going to be still living here in the morning if we make a deal on it?
maybe not, but my wife said if I bring home one more old car, that it's going to be the end of us. I'm going to miss her.
You're going to sure miss her, huh? So we pulled it out in the driveway and we were looking at it, and all of a sudden I hear from the second story of the house, the windows flew open and this lady leaned out and started yelling, "You're not selling my car, are you?"
Jeff, what the heck are you doing?
Nothing, dear.
You're not selling my car, are you?
Watch me.
We need to talk, now.
Be right up. Yo, what's up?
What are you selling my car?
How do you know I sold you?
Well, I saw you doing it.
Oh no, that does not look good. John's prospecting might have caused a little marital problem between Jeff and his wife. It looked like Jeff was going to sell John the other Porsche, but now, if he doesn't scramble on this one, he may lose the 356 and the 912. And from the looks of it, he might get himself a new roommate out of the deal. Stay tuned. The American Car Prospector is hanging on by a thread on a double deal of Porsches. He's got an accepted offer on a nice 356 and was just about ready to make a deal on a 912 until the owner's wife had other ideas.
So we pulled it out in the driveway and we were looking at it, and all of a sudden I hear from the second story of the house, the windows flew open and this lady leaned out and started yelling, "You're not selling my car, are you?"
Jeff, what the heck are you doing?
Nothing, dear.
You're not selling my car, are you?
Yeah, watch me.
We need to talk, now.
Be right up.
And I thought, oh great, there goes that deal. Well, he went in the house and we could hear the discussion, we'll call it, going on back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Wonder what she's gonna say this time. Just have to see. Yo,
What are you doing? You sold my car?
it's a Porsche liquidation today. I just figured that since you were gonna make me sell the 356
You sold the 356.
first for $31,500.
What?
31.5.
Here come the remodeled bathrooms.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for that.
I wish you had talked to me first.
Well, I gotta figure that if I'm gonna give up my 356, you're gonna have to give up your 912.
All right then.
And then I can take that money and take a long vacation.
No more cars though.
Yeah, watch me. No more cars.
Well, that looks like it kind of worked out. That is if you're the American Car Prospector, not necessarily if you're Jeff. But either way, looks like John might get a deal going on this sexy black Porsche 912. Looks like Jeff's wife has visions of a new bathroom in her future.
Yeah, it was just another lazy day in Cheyenne Canyon, and up walks this, Wrangler with a cowboy hat and poking around all my old Porsches. And so anyway, my wife came and got me, and it looks like he's out to buy some vintage cars. And with things the way they are, I guess I'm out to sell vintage cars.
I can just smell a deal's getting ready to happen right now. Well, if you were to entertain an offer on this little 912E, a 76, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
1 year only. They only made 2,000.
1 year
of these.
only. Just 2,000 of them. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. It just strikes me as a pretty solid car. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a good, solid car.
Well, in the world of the 911, with the 4-cylinder, they were underpowered. So, subsequent years, they would just fit them with the 6-cylinder engine.
Interesting. What kind of money were you looking for, Jeff?
I'd probably take 20 grand.
20 for a 912E? That's maybe a little strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why don't, okay. How about 10 grand? How about 10 grand for a counter?
Yeah, no way.
Yeah. Okay.
10 grand's probably low, but I don't know.
12,000?
How about 15?
15?
15K.
Well, look, I just made one deal on a car that I love. That 356.
That was the cheeseburger.
This is the fries.
Exactly.
Okay. 15,000.
Yep.
Okay, but that's today, and you need this done now.
All the money.
Okay. Let me make a quick call to the bank and shake on it.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
I'm really excited. We got a terrific car. You just don't see them. This car even gets fantastic gas mileage. It's reliable. It's comfortable. It's black with the black interior leather. I mean, it just doesn't get a whole lot better for the Car Prospector. 2 vehicles, 1 seller. It's a great day to be in Colorado Springs.
John wraps this deal up when we come back on the American Car Prospector.
Okay, I'm here today with my buddy Robert, and he's going to tell you about this truck that he built here at his shop that won SEMA last year. So tell us about this truck.
Well, it's a 1951 Chevy pickup. It's completely custom. Everything that's done to it, it's done in-house. It's custom red. Front here, it's all done out of metal. Everything on this car is metal. It's nothing's fiberglass.
It's all metal.
All metal, no fiberglass.
And you did that all in-house.
All in-house. Normally they have this big weird little bump here because the radiator sits up higher. So that's all dropped, it's lowered. It's, like I said, all done in-house. It's all metal. It's got custom airbrushing. It's got a 502 ramjet. That's by Street and Performance. The vehicle from here It's basically got the whole shape inside and out.
Yeah, through the
So,
wall of the
yeah.
of the pickup bed.
So that way it's, you know, I mean, it's SEMA, you gotta come correct.
Yeah, you got to bring it at SEMA.
The interior in here's, again, all custom. It's got the dash out of a 55 Chevy car. It's got the center console, it's got the buckets, seats out of a Lexus. It's got the overhead console with the LED lights.
How long did it take you to build this truck, Robert?
About 14 months.
14 months.
14 months. It actually, the wheels that were made for the truck, they're not the ones that are on it. We got those shipped from California from Raceline Wheels 2 days before the show. And the day before we left, we were actually trying to hunt down tires.
Wow.
So it was definitely a last minute thing. Funny story is we had the guy who was supposed to trailer it out there for us. Came to load the truck up, saw the truck and was like, I don't want to be responsible for that. He goes, so he's like, I don't want to take it. So last minute, again, we were trying to find a trailer. We got to go rent a trailer, find a truck to pull it. You know, we paid for our flights. We ended up driving out there instead. So, you know, we did whatever we can to get it there. And then to actually, you know, SEMA, they don't really give out too many awards. So to actually win something, well, it's big. I mean, you know, to win SEMA is, like I said, especially for your first time going there, is like unheard of. And then just to take a truck that's, you know, as nice and as clean as it was, you know, you got to do that to represent there. And when we went out there, when we got the awards, when they told us that, you know, you won and everything, we were on stage with Chick Foos, Ryan Fingenhouse from West Coast Customs, the guys from Gilpin Autosports. So it's funny, you know, they're giving out the awards, they're naming all these high-end people, and then finally they say us, and they're like, everyone's like, who's that?
Who is that?
Who's that guy?
American Car Prospector is really proud to be here at Cope Design today with Robert, and really appreciate the time today, Robert. Thanks very much,
No
brother.
problem. Anytime.
Okay, see you soon, all right?
That's it.
The American Car Prospector has had an interesting day. He met Jeff, a fine collector of vintage Porsches. Had a little bit of trouble with Jeff's wife
What are you doing? You sold my car?
until she had visions of a new bathroom in her head. And most of all, walked away with a car deal.
We made a deal for the 356, and I think the 31.5 is going to come in pretty handy. And then to top it off, and to get a little revenge, I sold John my wife's 912E. That ought to get her. Anyway, so it was probably a good day to buy and sell.
And together, I think we made a good bargain for the former owners, and we made a good bargain for the new owners. So I'm very excited about how we did in Colorado Springs today, and it's still early in the day. You never know what else I might turn up while I'm around, you know? Terrific cars, terrific day, fun to be me.
Let's tally things up. Purchase price on a 356 T6B Coupe Porsche, $31,500. Purchase price on a 1976 Porsche 912E, $15,000. John's combined prospector fee, $3,500. John will be talking to his European buyers ASAP. The pair of Porsches have a lot of headroom for profit. Looks like the American Car Prospector has done it again.
Well, there she goes. That 356 is probably the coolest car I've ever had.
Well, we're about to have the coolest bathroom ever. Bye, Porsche!
Yeah, I guess there's white porcelain and there's white porcelain.